again. I am just working, right. Hello, Instas. You's all right. You need to try this. If you haven't, it's very simple, but I did this last week. I'm just going to talk to you about it a little bit and tell you how it really affected us at work, right? In a good way. I had one of the most positive, productive weeks so far. I did. And I truly believe it's down to this thing that I did, which anyone can do. Hello all you little beauties. So when you come on, I would like you to tell us, what is your favourite album of all time and why? That's the important thing. Why do you love it? Mine, right, and this is all links in to what I'm talking about today. Mine is the Stereophonics, Decade in the Sun. And the reason being is, right, and remember you've got to think of the reason. The reason being is when I was travelling in Southeast Asia, hello everyone who's on, I hadn't heard English music for a long time. Or music that I recognised for a long time, like for months when I was travelling. And there was no such thing as iPods or anything like that. And I just hadn't heard anything, right? And you don't realise how much you miss music until it's taken away from you. So I went and stayed, I was in Thailand, and I went and stayed in, the beach, the film The Beach. Hello, Demelza. The hotel that Leonardo DiCaprio stays in the beach, there's like a guest house, isn't there? You can actually go as a traveller and you can go and stay in that exact guest house. So I went and stayed in there and it was, I don't know, $5 a night or something. It was really cheap. It was like quite a big guest house, but like the walls were made of paper and everything. Anyway, I went in there, stayed in there for a couple of nights. And I remember the first night I went in and I was asleep and I woke up and all I could hear was the Stereophonics. I was scared. And it was, you can have it all if you like. And I just went, music. Hello, Seeds of Change, Sunderland. And I went running into the next door because the walls were like paper, right? And I went running into the next door and I went, can I listen to your music? And they had the whole album and they were from down south. They were canny, like these group of lads. And I was like, can I listen to the music with you? And I just sat having a beer with them, listening to the Stereophonics. And that was just so uplifting when you haven't heard music for so long. Okay? So this is what I did last week. And you've just got to understand that. So if you think about what our workplaces, right, where we are, where we sit, where we are, we fill them, right, our houses, we fill them with images, photographs, artwork, right, that we enjoy to look at, and it uplifts us, right? So I've got my walls filled with, things, commissions I'm working on, things I'm working on, other people's art, right, because I like looking at it, okay? And you wouldn't necessarily have yours like this as well, okay? Morning Nick, morning Kylie. Sealed with a scent by Lindsay says, Mariah Carey, Butterfly, reminds me of my mum when I was younger. Superb. Now, it's important when you're writing down your favourite albums, that you put why, right? And this is what I'm talking about in the lounge today. So you fill your space with art and things that you like to look at, your family, right? Tom Hardy. Thomas, how I like. Do you know what? I was staring at him the other day and I went, he's actually looking at me. Aren't you, Tom? He is. Look. Can't stop looking at us, can he? All right, Tom, settle down. So, so you fill it with things that you like to look at. It's the same with music. Okay? Music fills your time and it enhances the time and experience of your day. Right? It's a fact. So it fills up these gaps of nothingness. Right? So there's a task that I'm doing in the Northern Lass Lounge group today, okay? And it's all about how to enhance your time so that your experience when you're working is more enjoyable, or it's more uplifting, or it makes you more productive. Because this happened to me last week. But there's an actual task that I've got all the lasses to do. If you want the full guide, you want the full activity, it's a really nice thing to do. If you want the full PDF, come into the lounge community, right? The bio is up here. We are absolutely banging out the resources every single week now to support you, right? Every single week we've got loads and loads of PDFs, guides, activity sheets, videos with things that are going to help you be more productive, right, and grow your business and make sense of this social media and business malarkey. Okay, so last week when I did this, right, this is how productive I was. I wrote a list. I went, let's just have a look, right, at how productive I was. Okay, come on in, Lindsay. So Lindsay said here, and this is quite important, right? She said, I'm going to set Facebook back up and join. Now, there's lots and lots of lasses on here who found us and discovered us through Instagram who don't have Facebook, or they've got rid of Facebook, right? There are a lot of lasses who have just set Facebook up just to join the lounge, right? And that's absolutely fine. Set your profile up. Find the Northern Lass Lounge and come on into the community. You didn't have to go on for anything else, right? There's loads of lasses do that, right? Because you're not getting you don't get the full experience on Instagram. It's very, very difficult to replicate what we do in there. Community is thriving. It is phenomenal, right? So come on in there. You're just looking for the Northern Lass Lounge. There is a page, but there's a group connected to it. We've got over 2,000 members in there. And it's just one of the best communities I've seen on social media to date. All right, so last week I looked at what this activity did for us, right? So the impact I had on last week, I'm juggling two picture book commissions at the same time. So I'm illustrating 2 separate books for 2 different people, 2 different themes, 2 different genres, right? It's a daunting task to do 2 at the same time. I've never done it before, and I don't know whether I'll do it again, if I'm honest. I think one's enough at a time. I might do. Anyway, I did it without even thinking this is how now, because it's quite an intense task when you're illustrating, right? But I managed to do 2 together, and I truly believe it was off having the music on in the background. Morning, Be Gifted, you all right? Remember, I can't remember everyone's names. I will get used to them eventually. I sorted out 3 people who we're going to interview for our podcast, right? They've been chosen, they've been contacted, so our podcast is going to I'm going to record them all at the end of January, and it's all going to get launched in February. Again, come on into the lounge if you want an opportunity to be interviewed, okay? But that was a big task to go through all the people who'd actually contacted us and read everyone's amazing submissions about what they wanted to bring to the table. And I chose 3 people, right? So that was a big task. And I set the process up of how to record the podcast and how we're going to upload it and what we're going to do. I scheduled all my posts, right? Now that's quite a repetitive task. Having music on when you're doing a repetitive task makes that task more enjoyable. I tested it, it worked. And I got through it quicker. And I've also been working on the training platform. I've done loads of different planning all week. It was just a really, really good week. And by the end of the week, I wasn't feeling like, oh God, I haven't done that. Every single day I was ticking off things that I've done, right? The whole list was getting ticked off. And I just thought, music? So, you can join in the task if you come into the lounge, or, just go and choose, put some of your favourite music on and see how it helps. But today, I'm going to listen to Design of a Decade by Janet Jackson. Oh yes. Okay, right, have a great week. Right, if you're in the lounge, come and say hello, and join in. Okay, have a fab week, everyone. Thanks for watching, you little beauties. Ta-ra.